The first thing I'd say is about Sarah Everard's family and friends who are going through unspeakable grief. Many, many women last night wanted to come together to mark that grief, but also to share and shine a torch on a wider experience of women about the fear, the threats and the violence and abuse that they face on a daily basis. They were right to do that. They should have been allowed to protest, to have their vigil, to come together in peace. And I was very disturbed to see the police action. I think it was wrong, and I'm pleased it's now going to be reviewed.
Should Cressida Dick resign?
I don't think Cressida Dick should resign. We need to see the reports that have now been called for. But more than that, this is a bigger issue. All of the concerns, all of the problems with violence against women and girls have been there for a very, very long time. This week in Parliament, we start a policing bill, 300 or so pages, 170-something clauses, and almost nothing, if you can believe it, on violence against women and girls. The gaping hole in this bill is why we'll be voting against it, and a complete missed opportunity by the government.
Up until this afternoon, Labour MPs were tweeting that they were being told to abstain rather than vote against. Why has that changed?
I've been talking to the front bench team for several days, and we made a decision this morning. And I can tell you why we made that decision, because this bill was the chance to deal with all of the underlying issues with violence against women and girls. They've been there for years and years and years. This government's been in power for 10 years, and it's now brought forward a policing bill. 300 pages, 176 clauses, and almost nothing on violence against women and girls. Lots of stuff on statutes, nothing on statutes, nothing of any substance on violence against women and girls. And I think a lot of people will say this is a missed opportunity, gaping hole, and that's why I'll be voting against it.
You're voting against it, but what do you propose to do to bring in those measures you're talking about?
Well, we've been pushing those measures in other legislation. If the government wants to take this moment to pause, to step back, and to reach a consensus across the House on the measures needed to tackle violence against women and girls, then bring it on. We will work with them on that. But they need to bring forward a piece of legislation now with next to nothing on this crucial issue. For all the people that were out last night peacefully demonstrating, trying to bring to the attention of politicians and others the daily harassment and abuse, all of those require us to listen to them and to bring forward legislation that actually addresses the long-term problems we've had with violence against women and girls.
In a way, this is a systematic, long-standing problem. What specific steps, what specific measures could be introduced that would achieve what you want?
I'm sick of people saying this is a long-term problem. We know what the issues are. Many women in particular feel they can't come forward to report what has happened to them. We need to address that, put the support in places. There have been reports left, right and centre on that. They need support to survive through the court process. Many women won't come forward. If they do come forward, the ordeal, as it often is, of going to court is too much for many of them. The sentencing needs to be adjusted. Stalking needs to be addressed in particular. We could fill a 300-page bill with provisions to better deal with violence against women and girls, and frankly, that's what this bill ought to do.
On a different topic, Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe is on trial again. What does the British government need to be doing?
Well, the government needs to do everything it can to ensure that she is released. She's been through an awful, awful ordeal, and all of us want to see her released. And I want the government to do everything within its power to ensure that she is.
Are there any specific steps that they need to take in your eyes?
Well, there are lots of steps that they need to take, but they are working on this. This is a non-party political issue. I think all of us just want to see that release as soon as humanly possible.
You've now had your jab. What did you get and how are you feeling?
AstraZeneca, I feel great, and I'm really grateful not only to the frontline team here at the Crick Institute, who've been absolutely brilliant, but to all of those on the front line across the country doing a fantastic job in rolling out the vaccine. So from me, not just on my behalf, but on behalf of everybody else, a massive thank you.